Hi everyone, Armoured Pants here, and I have a new video for you on a tank which is in the store now at a special offer, the Dicker Max Tier 6 German TD. We're going to have a look at the tech spec as always, and we're going to use blitzhanger.com to take you through that. Now, despite its name, Dicker Max, this is not a porn movie nor a porn star. Dicker means fat in German, so it's Fat Max. Also, it's not a fitness video. This is actually the name of the tank. It's in the store now. It's actually normally around €10 with nothing accompanying it, but right now it's in the store for €5, actually just a bit under €5 with premium, etc. So get it, right? If you like TDs and you like playing TDs, get it, because it also has a really good credit coefficient. But even if you don't like TDs, get it, put it in your garage. And maybe then have a look at the TD guide on here, have a look at this video, and then play it, because it is a good credit generator. Now, in playing this tank, I would run chocolate bar to maximize the view range and the reload. Although the view range we won't maximize completely because we're going to run camo net, not optics. Now it has a 105mm gun, which gives great pen. At tier 6, this is a really big gun, right? It gives 169mm of pen with AP, 177 if you run gun rammer, and it gives 227 or 238 respectively with APCR, and APCR is your Pramo. Now with HE you can get 53 or 58mm of pen, which is quite good when you consider you're going to be facing up sometimes against tier 5 tanks, right? And you get 380 plus damage points. Just think about that, right? Some tier 5 tanks, that's half or 60% of their total damage points. It's pretty impressive. You get 805 meters per second muzzle velocity, so that's low. So max that out with supercharged brings it up to 1047, and bear in mind APCR has over 1300 meters per second muzzle velocity. Now on the reload you get 8.42 seconds reload if you run a gun rammer. With calibrated shells it's just over 9. And it says here that this has low DPM, but actually it doesn't, because the actual DPM is great. The difference between actual and theoretical DPM, well, theoretical DPM is what they say here. They just multiply the number of shells you fire by the damage they do, but that assumes all shells pen. And of course, oftentimes they don't, but with this they do, because you've got massive penetration for tier 6 gun, so the actual DPM is great. 15 degrees of gun depression, yep, you read that right. 15 degrees of gun depression, one of the best in Blitz. Only 10 of elevation, but just think 15 degrees of gun depression, awesome. It's also quite fast. It does 40 kilometers per hour, 12 in reverse, and has a decent power to ratio, so it's relatively mobile TD. You can get into positions pretty quickly in this. And here's the kicker, its concealment numbers are off the charts, just wow. A tank with a view range of 286 meters, which is really good in tier 6, has to get within 173 meters of you to see you. Even when you fire, he has to get in within 222 meters of you. Concealment is amazing. You need to run camo net, of course, to get those figures. And even when you fire, then you can reset the camo. It takes around 11 seconds. So go out of view, count to 10, or count to 11 to be sure, and your camo was reset, and you're back to that 173 meters of concealment, which is just fantastic. So then, kind of gives us an indication of how to play this tank, right? You can see here it has relatively no armor. If you're top tier, you may get the troll bounces off the side or off the little bit of armor on the front, and you may get a bounce off the gun mantlet if somebody hits you square on there. But overall, you don't have any armor, right? You also have this open back. You can see there where the ammo racks are on the back and in the side. If you're up tiered, you need to be very wary of an SU-152 or something like that, or a Blaze or something with a big gun, because if he gets a shot into you on the side or the back with a HE round, you do a lot of damage and may even be one-shotted by an SU-152. So we get an indication here as how to play this tank, because also looking at the dispersion, its maximum deviation is 0.277 with refined gun. What does that mean? Well, it means that at 100 meters away, the maximum that you can deviate from the target is only 27.7 centimeters. So it's really low, which means you have a much better chance of hitting. So therefore run refined gun as well. So we now get an insight into the tactics of this tank. sit at the back, adopt sniping position, use that big gun, that decent reload, that high actual DPM, those concealment numbers. You can remain unspotted for almost an entire game, particularly if your teammates play their part and the heavies keep the enemy tanks away from you. You can remain unspotted the entire game and just farm damage. Obviously, you don't have any armor, so you're going to be able to go frontline, but that's not how to play this game. I'm going to look at gameplay and encounter battle. It's Dead Rail and it's a mastery game. It's not me playing, it's actually my ex-clan mate Angel Eyes, one of my oldest colleagues and teammates in the game. He's a member of 101 clan, which I was in, and the daughter clan of 101 7 Ghost Division. Deputy clan leader of 101 set up 7 Ghost Division, Tipsy McStagger, again one of my oldest compatriots in this game. And we're going to have a look at Angel Eyes here playing a mastery game in the Digger Max, and his tactics are exactly what we discussed in the tech spec, right? He's going to adapt a really good sniping position on this map, Dead Rail. Dead Rail is one of the better maps for sniping. It offers really good sniping positions, several of them on both sides of the map, that open up several fields of fire. Now, of course, as we've discussed, the role of a TD is support. It is sitting at the back, and it is supporting your team by farming damage and supporting the other tanks as they spot and seize key positions. If you want to get this tank and don't play TDs, what I recommend for you is to have a look at the two videos. One is the Tank Destroyer video, which is just a guide to playing tank destroyers on this channel. Have a look at that. It will tell you the role and what you should be doing and key skills you need to be a good TD player. And then I would also look at the Advanced Blitz Tactics and Philosophy video that we have. You'll find that is actually a separate playlist on Advanced Blitz Philosophy, because that will show you how important it is to understand the roles of not just your tank but other tanks, and how they should support each other, because it's a symbiotic relationship. A good TD player is really only as good as the people who spot and scout on his team. If the enemy remain unspotted, the best TD player in the world is not going to be able to help his team to win. If you are an experienced TD player, you probably are aware of all that, but you may not have this tank, so we'll go back to talking about this tank specifically. This tank is kind of similar to the Nashorn and to the Stuart Emil a bit, similar in that it has a little bit of armor at the front like the Stuart Emil, big gun for its tier, and can do a lot of damage. One thing you'll notice about this game is that so far Angel Eyes hasn't actually scored any damage, and that's another characteristic of playing TD as well. It's patience. An inexperienced player who doesn't understand his role in the game would probably rush forward here towards the gully on the right hand side, which is typically the A if you're playing Supremacy, and with no armor and limited maneuverability of his gun around the corner because he has no turret, would probably end up being dead. But Angel Eyes is patient, maintains his position, understands his role in the game, and now he's starting to influence the game. Now we see him putting in the damage, using that big gun, using that good reload, and you can see once the targets are come into range and are lit up, that gun starts to wreak havoc. You're looking at anything from 290 up to 400 alpha rolls each time. This tank is exceptional. The IS there saves the T-37 by moving in front, takes the round that would have taken out the T-37. Again, you know, this tank is really good when it's in a good sniping position. It can utilize that gun. A hilly map like this, it can also utilize that gun depression. You can just pop over the very top of your tank, make yourself a very small target, and this tank can be very effective. But you see, you do need your team to spot up the enemy for you. You need your team to see strategic parts of the map, like the right hand bottom of the gully, the pass on this map. Beautiful shot there. You saw the muzzle velocity and the pen in action as it smashed into the back of the IS, and now this T-37, who was living a charmed life, finally runs out of luck. Again, you see the power of the concealment numbers there, how long he remained unspotted, and it was only when the T-37 got within 178 meters of him that he finally became spotted. The rest of the time he remained unspotted. Kept us cool there. If he had moved, he probably would have missed a shot on the IS, so he had to more or less take that hit. And now it's a 1v1 situation. He's up against the Su-100Y. Now this is a problem for him, and he has to be very cautious because he's a one-shot for the Su. His teammates are telling him that the Su has almost full hit points. It turns out that that's not the case, but he definitely has more hit points, as you'll see in a minute, than he can clear in one shot. That presents a problem for him. He can be one-shotted and he can't one-shot the enemy. So this now is a game of cat and mouse, and in actuality the Su has the advantage because we know the Su hasn't been engaged for a while, so he's fully reloaded and he can one-shot the Digger Max because he can roll between 500 and 600, and Angel Eyes has less than 500 hit points. Now he, after a really excellent game and some outstanding TD play, he fluffs some shots here, and this is kind of a lesson for you. He is an extremely experienced player. He has been playing Blitz since it first came into the store. So he's been playing Blitz longer than most players, even longer than me. He has been playing it since its first inception. Very experienced, excellent player, right? But you see, even when you're under pressure, now regardless of how experienced you are, you can fluff shots. And you see his teammates think it's going to be a draw, or they're saying it's lost, and this is where the experience comes in. He reassesses, maintains his cool, he sees an opportunity here, and this is a beautiful shot, and this is what wins them the game. The Su now wants to take him out when he's reloading, and when he's moving forward he gets himself into all sorts of 6s and 7s, gets himself into a pickle and jams himself up against the train, and allows Angel Eyes to clear him off. A little bit of luck at the end, of course, but as I've said before, anybody who tells you don't need a little bit of luck in a mastery game is lying. You see there almost 3.5k damage, and a really, really good example of how effective this TD can be. This is good TD, decent premium tank, 170% credit coefficient, so good credit earner, good TPM, good rate of fire, really nice alpha for a tier 6 tank. That big 105mm gun is really effective. It's agile and mobile for a TD with its power to weight ratio and its top speed of 40 kilometers. You saw there at the end when he was engaging the Su how quickly it moves, and the gun is just great, and it's a big hitter for its tier, right? You get a 1047 or 1308 meters per second muzzle velocity with AP and APCR, so use that, put supercharger on the gun. The 15 degrees of gun depression is just awesome. You will have a great time utilizing that. Hardly any other tanks in Blitz have that. Low dispersion, that is your maximum deviation, creates really good gun handling. And the supercharged and refined gun and camo net make this a really, really effective TD, because those concealment numbers are just excellent. It has decent reverse, so therefore it's a surprisingly good brawler, particularly if you're top tier. I've often been attacked by tier 5 mediums in this and you just plow them. It's good value, good TD, good premium tank. Overall, at the moment, the package it is at €5 with the premium time as well is really good. So get it, even if you don't play TDs, get it, put it in your garage and watch the TD guide that we have here. Music was Vivaldi's Winter, which I thought was quite fitting for Dead Rail. And then we also had from the original soundtrack of Warcraft, The Horde. So cheers Mush, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, hope you found it useful, and I guess all that remains for me and Angel Eyes to say is pants off.